MadS. MADS. Ain't no reason to get MadS, Deborah, and I'm not talking specifically to you. But this week, welcome back, Cobweb. How you doing, brother?
Cobweb in the house, baby.
I almost forget. Hey, everybody, welcome back. It's been a couple of weeks. What happens, happens. Those of y'all that know, no reason to get down into the dumps and stuff. Because we're here. Why? Because we're here to share us with y'all with us with us. You know how it goes.
Yep.
I'm Josh.
I'm Cobweb, baby.
And I'm Deb.
And we actually had a setup for Deb to be in her own camera today, but we got home late and it wasn't all the way set up. So next,
bro, why you telling them all? Why you giving them all this information, bro? And you ain't did that special stuff, dude. You still ain't. You still ain't did what you're supposed to be doing right now.
Because the people want to see me, and I haven't been up. I haven't been up on the podcast, just my voice. And so
I know this, Deb, but he's giving them free information that requires something special.
You know what he's talking about, Deborah?
No.
Hit the intro.
Warning. This podcast is about the horror genre, specifically horror films. As most horror movies are filled with coarse language, violence, and/or gore, the topics and language of the cast of the pod will also reflect the genre. If you have any issues with the aforementioned warnings, please press stop. However, if you have no issue with adult language, movie violence, or the accoutrement that accompanies horror films, please feel free to continue. You have been warned.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Cast of the Pod podcast. You can find us on social medias at Cast of the Pod, or if you don't have the links, go to castofthepod.com and it'll take you to where all the links are at. You see, short and sweet.
Say what you do.
We are back. I'm looking at that Jamiroquai album in the background, top left-hand corner.
Oh, that one? Oh, that Traveling Without Moving? That's pretty dope. That's a good album. That's got a lot of hits on it.
Too bad everybody only knows Virtual Insanity.
Please. All Right's on there. That's a really good song. All Right is really good.
Oh. I didn't know he had other songs.
Oh, you got the Return of the Space Cowboy?
Next thing you know, you're going to tell me that, whatchamacallit, Informa, like he did other songs.
I don't think he has, but Jamiroquai, the group, has a lot of songs. I saw them, and here's something really crazy, right? I'm to tell you guys a story, right? We were at the Jamiroquai concert at, I believe we were at Pitchfork or something, me and the Flower Child, and there were pretty much a lot of people out there dancing out in the grass and stuff like that, having a great time and stuff like that. And there were a group of, shall we say, the alphabet group of people.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Were there and they were dancing. And my wife is an accomplished dancer and she started dancing, and they were like, shunned her out, like, get out of here. Well,
what?
Yeah. Yeah. Because she was showing them up.
Well, that's why they was hating.
Yep.
They were hating on her.
You tell her I said to keep dancing.
Oh, she did keep dancing. They can't do nothing. Okay. You can't stop the Flower Child.
Don't stop.
She gets going. That's it. Honestly, tell the truth, she's a walking dance battle. Seriously. You everything she sees as a challenge. She's a walking dance battle. I can't take her anywhere. If there's music playing, she's going to have a dance battle.
Oh, Deb's still coughing.
Coughing. What's this movie supposed to be doing anyway?
Oh, before we even get into the MadS, it's that movie. Let me bring up the background music so I don't have to do it later on. Oop, that is not the background music. Don't play that. All right, here we go. Carl Casey from White Bat Audio in the background. There we go. So this is a TV mature rated movie, an hour and 29 minutes, made in 2024. You can find it on Prime Video, AMC Plus. I think we saw it on.
Do we see it on Shudder?
I thought we saw it on Shudder.
We saw it on Shudder too.
Oh, okay. So a teenager stops off to see his dealer to test a new drug before heading off for a night of partying. On the way home, he picks up an injured woman, and the night takes a surreal turn. Directed by David Moreau, written by David Moreau, stars Lucille Goumet. Goumet? Is that like Robert Goumet? No. Lori Pavi, Milton Ritchie.
This shit was sparkling.
You know what?
What?
Now that you said all of that, I honestly forgot about her.
About who?
The one he picked up.
Okay.
For real? Oh,
At the beginning?
Man, that's the trigger point of this whole damn movie. I
This
wonder
is
how long did it take till you think they were infected?
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that because that's. I don't have much to say about this movie, but that is one of the things that I would like to say about the movie. This is what the people put. On a quiet August evening, moneyed teenager Roman stops at his dealer's house before heading out for a night of hard partying. Instead, he runs into a mysterious woman trying to make a getaway. And just like that, things go sideways as the powerful substance in his system kicks in. Roman struggles to process what is happening, only to descend deeper into a chaotic haze. But what was in that pill? It wasn't a pill. Is Roman having a bad trip, or his vivid hallucinations signaling something more ominous? Either way, one thing is clear. This horrifying experience is just the beginning of a long, brutal night filled with blood and terror. Nick Riganas wrote that.
That was a little bit too long.
And it was a little weird.
Yeah, it was a little bit too long. A little bit too long. Because let me tell you something. I could see how he could have thought some of that was a bad trip. But it was,
When it was
when
sold,
he saw his
when it was
eyes
sold-
glowing.
Yes, exactly. When it was sold to me, the person that told me about it, a coworker, told me, you got to see this movie. It's one of those movies where you don't know if it's happening or if it's a bad trip or whatever. And as soon as it moves to the second person in this movie, then it was definitely not a bad trip. It's definitely happening, in my opinion. And this is also one of those movies where they use one tracking shot. Did you know that?
Yes.
So
It was done very well.
Yes, to those of y'all that aren't familiar with it, and it's something that they're doing a lot. Deb, what's that movie, that British series you were watching on Netflix? There was 4 episodes. No, not Adolescence.
Adolescence.
So it's a trend where they're doing this tracking shot. The first time I ever heard of these tracking shots, long before I had ever heard of it, but the biggest one for me was Old Boy, the Korean movie Old Boy, with the hallway fight scene that they tried to redo in Daredevil.
Okay.
So, but this entire movie was done with one tracking shot. They filmed, this was the 5th time they filmed this movie from beginning to end. The version that you see when you stream it was the 5th time they filmed it.
Really?
Yeah, so they start the movie and then run all the way through it. This was the 5th recording. Yeah, no stops. And there's a documentary. My words are getting all blah. But there's a documentary that is almost as interesting, if not more interesting, than the movie, because you see the entire process. So it's the length of the movie, and you're watching the filming you're seeing the behind the scenes of the entire movie, beginning to end.
Wow. I never even thought about it like that it was going on, because I know it all happened in one night, but I didn't realize that they actually filmed it like that in one night. Because you think about it, the way that the landscaping was, how the weather was consistent throughout the entire thing, and it did track like from dusk to dawn, you know what I'm saying? From the sunset till, late at night. That was pretty dope. So
the way that the movie starts off Are we going to go old school, or are we putting the rating at the end, or are we going to put the rating at the beginning? And then
What did the
spoil
AI
shit out?
say for us to do?
Oh, I stayed out of AI today. Here, let me open it up. I'll open it up right now. Live on the podcast, because this is great, especially for audio. In cast of the pod,
Cast of the pod.
should we have the ratings at the beginning
Or the ending.
or the end
Oh man, that's messed up.
of the pod? And I misspelled beginning. All right, there we go. Good question. And honestly, it depends on what kind of vibe you want to set for Cast of the Pod. Here's a quick breakdown of the pros and cons of each. Rating at the end, most common. Pros, keeps the suspense alive. Pod people stick around to see how the dream team scores it. This AI knows us way too well. It
Yeah,
allows the
pretty
conversation to
much.
naturally build around your verdict, gives Cobweb space to go on one of his cobsplains before locking in his take.
Wow.
Cons.
It's doing impressions.
Cons. Some casual listeners may bounce before the final rating. It's talking like us. It's fucking talking like us. Some casual listeners may bounce before the final ending. All right,
That's crazy.
rating at the beginning. Pros, hooks people immediately. If they hear the strong opinion up front, they'll know why. Good for short attention spans. Could be the new format twist to change things up. Cons, might spoil the organic feeling of the discussion if people already know your full opinion. What might work best? Tease the rating early, but save the number for the end. You could start off with a line like this. This one had the dream team split. Josh and Deborah are all in. Cobweb's already rolling his eyes. Stick around for the final rating.
Get the
But just know it got heated. that keeps the flow authentic and gives people a reason to stay to the end. Want me to mock up an intro script for that
Yes.
kind of teaser format? Oh yes. Yes, ChatGPT. Yes, we do. This motherfucker's listened to our podcast and it knows Cobweb's rolling his eyes. This doesn't
How?
even have ChatGPT doesn't even have eyes, and it knows Cobweb's rolling his eyes.
This
How
motherfucker. Go ahead, Deb.
I was say, how is this gonna listen to our podcast and we can't get some of our friends to listen?
Right, this thing listens to our podcast more than us.
ChatGPT, you my only friend. Okay, this is what it says. Oh, dude. Pod people,
Bro.
bear with us, please. Intro teaser script. Josh or Deb. Pod people, buckle up. This episode right here, it got real. We're talking about MadS. It says movie title. And let's just say this one split the dream team.
Uh-oh.
Cobweb, I tried, y'all. I really tried. But I got thoughts. Serious thoughts. Josh chuckling. Yeah. And Deb and I, we're not backing down on this either. Stick to the end because the final rating, it may just start some arguments. Deb, you have been warned.
Ah!
Insert signature intro.
What? Hit the intro now again. Play it again.
No. All right, we'll keep the rating. We'll keep the rating to the end.
We should do the script and then start the intro.
Oh, start completely over and act like we hadn't done it.
No. Like keep going right now. Like, but do the script and then we start the intro.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
We already did the intro.
But just because we're playing along with Chat PT, whatever.
Anyways, so all right.
I don't even know his name.
Now you're saying it's a he?
Yeah, he's a
It's
he.
ChatGPT. All right. Anyways, actually, it's ChatGPT Plus, but that's neither here nor there. But,
Oh my god.
No, seriously.
I'm with you. I'm with you. You got to have the plus.
We have the plus because everybody was making the little Studio Ghibli Ghibli photos, and so I needed to do that, and it only gives you 3 or 4 a day, so I had to get plus for a month. So,
Oh wow. Well,
Yeah.
maybe that's a good investment.
yep. But all right, so we're gonna save the ratings to the end. I know what I'm gonna rate it already.
I do too.
And so stay
Yeah, me too.
tuned to the end just so you can hear how much complaining Cobweb is going to be. Hey, I'm just going by the script. ChatGPT.
What?
You
No, it
have
didn't say
been
that.
warned.
Blame it on the AI.
Oh man, see, this is the whole problem, man. I knew this was going to be something today. Something today. Hey, what is?
Well,
You have some
I'm trying to
serious
button
thoughts,
my
Cap.
shirt.
I do
Didn't
have some
realize my
serious
shirt-
thoughts about this movie. Let me tell you why I have some thoughts about this movie.
We haven't even said what happened in the movie.
That's okay. We're doing it this way.
All right. I
Right. I mean, I have questions. Look. All right. You know what? We need to break down the beginning of this, because
break
the
it down.
beginning of this movie is really where the tone is
this
set.
is where we dance.
Because let me tell you something. Odu, when he was he was having a great day. It was his birthday.
It was.
It was.
It was.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was his birthday.
That was his
Okay.
party.
And his dad was coming home?
His dad was coming. So they're in what? They're in France, right? The movie. You're gonna have to, if you don't speak French, which my French is very rusty, but
Yeah, mine's
it's
totally
comme ci,
sucks.
comme ça, But c'est dommage. But anyways, regardless, that's neither here nor there. But so you're gonna have to read watch it. If which there's sections of this movie where there's no talking whatsoever. So, but there's just tons of action.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna have to read all that much. It's a guy, and he's at his dealer's house, and he's
having a nice little nose candy party by himself.
and that's why I don't know why that rating said a pill. Well, anyways, but it didn't even look like I'm not very familiar with a whole bunch of different types of drugs or anything like that, but it looked like he was sniffing tajin.
He was probably okay. He was all right because he was on the same thing. Because he was tahini. What the heck is tahini?
Tajin, it's the chili powder and the salt and the sugar that you put on like cucumbers, you put on watermelon, you put on pineapple. It just South Texas is big down here.
Nah.
You're
no tahini.
Bro,
Empanadas.
y'all got Mexicans up there too.
Yeah, I know we do. I seen it. I seen tahini. We sell it out here too. I seen it at the store. But he was on some other stuff, man. Because he was like the neighbor. You know what it was? He was like everybody's friend. He was the guy that always had the good stuff. If you ever needed a bump or something like that, you go see him real quick. Let me get one. He got you. And that's who he was. He was the party guy. And they was throwing a party for him.
His friends were
to celebrate for him, and it was like, come on, everybody's out for him, all that stuff, all that time, he was the man.
So he's the rich kid. He's the rich kid. He goes, picks up some stuff, does a sample of it, talks about, hey, what's in here? And the guy's like, I don't know. I just sell it. All right. Be careful. It's kind of strong. And as he's there, gets a little nosebleed going off. Then he gets into his vintage 19 something or another convertible Mustang.
Dad's car.
I was getting there.
Okay.
I was setting the picture.
Okay.
And the camera's following them, and I don't know what kind of gimbal they have it on or what kind of car they're on. I'm just picturing somebody holding this big frame gimbal, like strapped on the front of like a truck or something, like Mad Max style, like Furiosa Thunder Road, kind of just in the front, following this Mustang. And then as he's taking a couple of turns, you can tell it's kind of kicking in and all that. And he's going through this country road, talks to his dad. I'll be home soon, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Are you in my car? You better be treating my car okay. Come to find out it's his dad's baby, that car, right? Pulls off to the side of the road because he's smoking, and he drops a cigarette onto his lap and then into the floorboard. And when that happens, yeah, he's freaking out about that. When that happens, then old girl jumps into his car looking like one of the nurses from Silent Hill.
Yep.
Bruh, that shit was fucked up. Because what happened was he was looking for it, and she hit the front of the car, and he went around to check. And when he turned back around, she was inside the car.
Yes.
She had that damn tape recorder playing that shit in English, saying how the shit was all fucked up. That contamination was all high and everything else like that, removing the teeth and all this other stuff like that was playing. But you got to think about it. For people in France, they don't understand the English, so they just don't even know what it's saying.
Eh,
But
It's a
he
good
did
chance.
understand, right?
he understood what was
He
going
didn't
on.
understand what was playing on that record, on that thing.
He spoke If I can speak French, he can speak English.
No, it's not guaranteed, Josh, because he didn't hear any of it. I think if I would have heard what said on that tape recorder, I would have did something different.
His dad was the jet setter where they go to Ibiza and they go to Coachella and they whatever. Those party people speak party languages, and English is a party language. English is fucked up, but it's still a party language.
It is.
It's not something elite, huh?
He understood. See, there's a serious argument we're having.
Yeah, already Cobweb's going that way. We're trying to go this way. Jeez.
You know what, Cobweb? You go that way, we'll go this way, and we'll meet you.
We'll meet at the end.
Yeah, we will.
I personally marked out. I personally marked out because this podcast not sponsored by in any way, shape, or form. Even though I normally use a Shure SM7B microphone, I bought out the Super 55 today because that's what we use for our a style of this mic, this type of mic we use in the logo. Not this mic, definitely not the full design. Don't sue us, Shure. But we also use Rode products and stuff like that. But when we first started potting back in the day, Deborah and I would use, they're called Zoom, that company. And we have that recorder that she brought out and she was hitting play. And the doctors were like, we removed her tongue and her salivary glands along with her teeth. So in that recording, she was missing a tongue. That's why she couldn't talk. She was missing her salivary glands and she was missing her teeth. That way she couldn't spread the disease. So that being said, there's a couple of issues I run into later on. How did he get the disease? Was the drug necessarily the thing that was spreading the disease? I don't think so.
It was from blood contact when she fucking threw up on him.
But the doctor said that there was no blood transmission. It was through the salivary glands. That's why they removed her salivary glands.
She
they
threw up on him.
But that doesn't mean you're getting stomach acid. That doesn't mean you're getting babas, saliva.
Bruh, let me tell you something. When you're getting something that nasty coming at you, what do you think? You think you might not be contaminated?
I don't.
She carved up a lung all over his ass, in his mouth.
They're in the car and he's like, what's going on? And she's like, I got no tongue. I'm not making fun of nobody. Don't think I'm making fun of nobody. That was my impersonation of a French chick with her tongue and salivary glands and teeth cut out. That's all. And if you know a French chick with no tongue and no salivary glands, get her ass to the hospital. And you got other things to worry about than getting mad because I'm going. If you hear me going and you're thinking of another type of person, that's on you. You're the fucked up one, not me. People.
Man. Yeah, he drives home with her. Who does that shit?
He does.
So the reason why
Talk
why
about
he
a
drives
bad
home,
trip.
he can't call the police. He calls the police and then he's like, "Fuck, I'm high." He knows that he's got this drugs on him. He knows that he's high, so he can't call the police. But still, why are you gonna take her home? You're out in the middle of the country and nobody's seen nothing. Just a little boot, boop. That's it, and drive off. That's all you got.
I would have kicked out the car.
That's what I'm saying. Little boot, boop, just like that.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, man, but you can't talk. I can't understand what you're saying.
You ain't gotta go home, but you ain't staying here.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
There you go. Because that shit was fucked up. Because he was contaminated at that point.
Because she upchucked a whole fucking mouthful of blood.
And then when he gets at home, and he's sitting back there chilling and stuff like that. And then when his girl comes over, to try to get a quick, she wants to go in the back, and have a nice little, onesie twosie, and she kisses up on him. At that point, she's contaminated. She gets contaminated early in the movie.
One of the things they tried to push, and I've looked into the marketing on it and how it was explained to me, was that the drug was the reason for it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The drug was just the glue that tied everybody together. I saw it as that, yeah, they were doing it, but I thought that they couldn't put him down easy.
as they thought that they should have, and they were still going. And I thought it was because of the drug. That's why they couldn't put them down. It was a little bit harder to put down, and they were a little bit more aggressive than they should have been because of the drug. That's what I thought.
Maybe.
That sounds possible.
So as you're watching the movie,
nothing's like a bunch of cokehead zombies. Okay.
These tahini cucumber sniffing zombies.
Yeah, that's what you got there. I mean, who wants that?
This podcast is not brought to you by Tahin. Hey, but
What's we call it now, Tahin? Okay,
yeah. Bro, get a lemon and then shove a Chinese candy in it. Throw some Tahin on that. I'm salivating right now. Salivating. Anyway,
that must get all the endorphins going.
No, just the salivary glands that have not been removed. So it starts off with this guy buying drugs, driving home, getting hijacked, coerced by this girl with no tongue. She pukes on him, right? He gets home. He's trying to figure out what he's going to do. Jumps in the shower, butt booty naked. You see his junk. There's way too much penises. Way too many penises in movies nowadays. I know equal opportunity and whatever, blah, blah, blah. But if we have to give up seeing female crotch shots just so we can see less male penises, then fine. Cut out the girl crotch shots. Leave the boobs in the movie. Boobs are fine. Bare-chested women and bare-chested men are fine. But
Josh, you know how this goes. You know how the scale of this goes. Okay, you get boobs. Okay, that's a level 1.
Yeah.
You go to crotch.
Actually,
you see
level 2.
bush. That's a level 2.
That's 3.
Okay. What's 3? Well, actually, 3 is like equivalent to Johnson. Okay, you got like, if you seeing like 2 and 3, 2 and 1, you have to add it up. You know what I'm saying, to be equal. So you get 1 Johnson to like 2 sets of boobs or something like that to equal to, I don't know how the fucking math goes. You can figure that shit out when you get home. Oh.
If you want to do the real math to it, if you're going to show a dick in a movie, then there needs to be at least 32 pairs of breasts. 32 to equal 1 schlump. I'm just saying.
Oh,
32.
that's what we just did right now.
Pairs. Not 32 individual. Not 16 sets. 32 sets.
That's the new math from now on.
That's the new math. That's the Cast of the Pod math. Better see 32 different sets before 1 schlump.
We are, let me tell you something, dude. We are really.
All right. 32 is not realistic. 27. 27 pairs.
Let me tell you. We are in trouble. We're in trouble for this one.
Why? Who doesn't like
this episode
boobs?
is gonna get us in some trouble.
Every type of person, be they interested in whatever or not interested whatsoever, who doesn't like boobs? Nobody doesn't like not boobs.
Not okay.
I don't know. Back to MadS. So his girlfriend comes over and she's kind of an asshole, and then the party friends come over and then they jump into his truck and then they're driving down the street. They get stopped by the cops and all that. Then they go to the party and then the party girl's talking to her best friend and blah, 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 blah. Drama, girl stuff. Oh, I think I'm pregnant. Blah, 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 blah. Come to find out, oh boy, at the beginning, you don't even need to remember their names. It's just the first guy, zombie chick, girlfriend's best friend, who we find out ends up being the other girlfriend for the first guy.
Yeah.
And then
that was fucked.
And then a whole bunch of non-playable character assholes, and they're all at
the movie. That's it.
And then he gets with girlfriend's best friend, and they're getting it on, and he's getting a little rough and rugged with it, right? And then that's when his eyes glow.
And he knew some shit was fucked up.
Right. And
he
then
knew some shit was fucked up. That's why he went off on that rage on old boy at the party. When he touched him like that and whooped his ass like that, because he was still on that shit.
Yep.
And he was on that zombie stuff. That's why I thought that the drug, the stuff that they was doing, the party, okay, I thought that the party had got caused the zombie stuff to get more wilder. You know, add more aggression to them as well.
So I'm thinking around this time, just how she escaped from wherever this military base you never see, this scientific fucking laboratory that you never see. I'm thinking other people escaped too. So it's starting to spread all over town. But so the military's following old boy from the beginning, gets him, boom, 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 he's dead. Story starts following girlfriend.
Yeah, because they start chasing him around and the military starts hunting them down. I don't know.
Girlfriend gets
Because
got by
that
the
junk
military.
spread so quick. It spread so quick. And it really didn't take that much. You got to realize them jokers at that party was partying deep. And there was a lot of them coming and going, bro. You don't know how quick it spread. It could have been really a lot more contagious than it was.
We know by the end of the movie. But so then it goes to Deb, jump in here wherever you want to jump in. Then it goes to girlfriend's best friend because girlfriend gets it. And you start following girlfriend's best friend, who's actually probably the best character in the whole movie. And
oh yeah, I liked her.
She's trying to get away from all this stuff, right? And it's her and best friend on a moped. And this is my favorite scene of the movie. As they're trying to get away from all this drama, and they're really running away from the military. Who they don't know why the military is killing them in the streets. And you know, they're all freaking out. And as they're running, as they're on the moped, they're driving, and then best friend in the back is holding on to best friend's girlfriend in the back, girlfriend's best friend, right? She's holding on to her, and as she's doing that, she's twitching. So she like gets little
that's
twitches.
the first signs you start that twitching shit.
And then
but
the
she
twitches
did
get
that shit a
bigger
while
and
back
bigger.
ago.
And then she's like she's holding her and she's reaching forward and she's fish hooking her mouth and everything like that. That's when you're like, nah, stop, elbow, get the fuck off of me, bitch.
Yeah.
Well, she was what she was doing. Remember, she had got shot by the military, and she kept going.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They had gunned her up real quick, and they kept shooting her, and she just would not go down.
And her best friend was still trying to save her.
Right.
And
she was taking the blood in the holes.
Yep.
And rubbing it all on her face.
Dude, her transition from being not zombie to zombie. Yes, this is a zombie movie. We're officially saying it's a zombie movie. And no, it's not a hallucination or anything like that. Because this would have to be a group hallucination with the same fucking story, and none of them are telling them, "Hey, I'm seeing a zombie" or anything like that. You know, so none of that got, you know, unless this specific drug makes you only see zombies and not vampires or ghosts or whatever. Which,
Can you imagine that?
nah.
But
That's scary.
But that whole scene where she's turning into the zombie is pretty badass, and then she's chasing after her. This movie, it gets to the end where she makes it to this skyscraper. She's trying to find her mom, and all this stuff happens. And I was kind of worried about potting this because I didn't know how long this was going to last. How long have we been recording already?
Like 38 minutes, 33 minutes. You know what? Hey, you know what was dope was where they brought it together because she wanted Raymond or whatever his name was, the first girl zombie that was on the back that got shot up. Yeah. And the other chick that was pregnant with his baby, that was the chick that was trying to save her.
Right. That's
and when she started turning into a zombie, her true feelings and how upset she was that she was pregnant with his baby start coming out. And she starts chasing her down the street while she's on the moped, yelling at her that she's going to come get her because what she did. And you know what's tripped out about it? You thinking that she didn't got pretty far on this moped, but you can hear this broad in the background keep coming.
She was like Terminator 2, running after Edward Furlong on that little motorcycle.
Yup, that's how she was. That's exactly how she was.
She was what was his name? Robert Patrick?
Yeah.
Man. And then end of the movie, it turns very Dark Knight, very Fight Club, where she's in a skyscraper and she's looking out of the window, and then you see fires all over Paris or wherever they're at, and airplanes flying by and helicopters. This really, to me, and I'm not saying this to anybody else. I haven't heard anybody else say it. I'm not stealing any of their stuff or anything from MDib. But to me, this could be a very good unofficial prequel to 28 Days Later. This could be like 28 hours later.
I can see that.
Yeah, that shit was crazy, dude. That jump
This
was
is
crazy.
they could have, like, this is where they let the rage monkeys out in 28 Days Later. Could have been the same lab where they cut out her salivary gland. I just like saying salivary glands. She had no
That's
balas.
hard to say.
Saliva.
Salivary glands?
Salivary glands.
I like that. That's the word of the day.
Yeah.
It's supposed to go,
I know, right? It's just, man.
We haven't done the word of the day in a long time. We haven't done the, what else did we used to do? We used to do
We're
a
doing
bunch
everything.
of stuff.
Hey, man, let me tell you something. Because you know why? You know why? Let me tell you why. Because it's bacon fat time.
Baking soda. Oh, sorry. Oh my God.
Oh shit! You know what, man, bro? This is some crazy junk, man. It's good to have me back on this podcast today with you guys, man.
Yes, it is.
Oh man, this is what's up. This is what's going on. This is what's going on. Nothing but positive energy. Nothing but positive energy. We still got this rating to do on this movie. They already know what we gonna give it. I bet you right now, if anybody sits up there and they think about what we gonna give this movie, and they email me right now, and they probably listen to the end of it, then we'll just give them a prize or a ticket or some shit. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know.
Right now, prove that you didn't jump to the end to hear the final rating. That way you could win a prize. No.
Right.
Man.
Hey, that's like saying, there's a prize in a cereal box.
This is one of the, yes. You had to get all the way down to the bottom. Did you ever empty the cereal out to get to the toy in the cereal box? Do they still have toys in cereal boxes?
No.
I don't think so.
Man.
No.
I think
Some
the
kid got
kids
sick off
toy-
one and that was it, bro. Some moron kid got sick off of it and that was it. Who does that stuff? Because let me tell you.
Thinning out the herd, bro. Thinning out the herd. That's all I'm saying.
We used to have dope prizes in cereal boxes when we were kids too.
Yep.
So
Dope
to those
prizes.
of y'all that are too young to know about having cereal, you get your Fruit Loops, you get your Tony the Tigers, you get your can't get enough Super Golden Crisp.
Oh man, Golden Crisp had dope toys. So did Alphabets too. Alphabets had good toys.
Berries, Count Choculas.
Mm-hmm. Cocoa Puffs had good toys. Captain Crunch gave away money too.
Pea Crisp. Captain Crunch would tear your fucking mouth apart. That shit never got soggy. It was just like razor blades. It was good. Don't get me wrong. It was good. But you'd cut your gums up, your fucking mouth's all torn up. And then there was
these kids today, they don't know the pain. They don't
and then
know.
all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it wouldn't slowly get soggy. It was just like break your teeth on it. Then all of a sudden, mush out of nowhere. There was like no time level.
Yep.
You got Fruity Pebbles.
Man, bro. They used to be about like...
They would have badass toys in there.
Dude, remember Fruity Pebbles? They used to have like little plastic pterodactyls and prehistoric animals you can get in the cereal boxes. I remember in Super Golden Crisp, they gave away the iron-on patches on the back of the box.
Iron-on patches.
Oh, the iron-on patches. They don't know about that. That was dope.
Records. You could get an LP, not an LP, a
45.
single, a 45. You cut out the back of the box, put it on your record player, pop the little hole out, and it had a playable record.
Yeah, like a story and junk like that for Super Golden Crisp and shit, man.
Yes.
Man, bro, what happened to these kids today? That's why they ain't got no imagination, bro. Well, that's why they fucked us all up, because they got us hooked on that sugar and them toys.
If it's not on an app, if it's not on a phone, if it's not on a mobile device, wait a minute, fuck. 99.9% of our listeners are on a mobile device. Mobile devices are great.
Bring back the toys in the cereal boxes, bro. Bring them
Bro,
back,
you remember
man.
the little? They had a what you call it, octopus. You throw it on the wall, and they'd be like,
Oh yeah. There was
Yeah,
one. I
you
looked
okay
up
over
this
there?
thing on the cereal boxes of like what's the most craziest thing they had. And there was one cereal box, they actually gave out money in it. You open up the box and you was definitely gonna get some money inside your cereal box.
My favorite one was the little scuba guy or the submarine that you put baking soda in it and
That
then you
junk
throw
was
it in
dope.
water and then it would
Oh.
voom, 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 voom.
Which one's the one with the alphabets that you had when you got like it was like a little you
Alphabet.
planted the water or something like that, and you got like flowers and stuff like a greenhouse or
Like a
something inside
bean
the box.
sprout. Yeah.
Right. How
This
do you
is the
get that? Wait, you gave they gave you a greenhouse, a miniature greenhouse in your cereal.
A terrarium in your
A
cereal.
terrarium
And
in your
now
cereal
the
box.
only thing they give you in breakfast cereals
Is cereal.
is diabetes. That's the only thing they give you in cereal now.
Because
I
it
think
was a
it's 'cause
cereal
of
war,
they-
man. You had to get us kids hooked on that junk. On Saturday morning, you had to have the dopest cereal to get in front of them cartoons in the morning, so these kids, so we love it. That's what they
You
had
don't,
to
you
do.
don't even have good cartoons in the morning.
Well, they can't do it anymore because they quit paying the education. They started paying you have to have so much educational time and blah blah blah. And they were like, fuck it, we'll just throw it on Saturdays. And that's why there ain't no cartoons no more. What were you gonna say, Deb? They're trying to do what?
No, I said they don't have good cartoons. The cereal isn't the same either. And I think it was like one kid, he like choked or something on the cereal, so they don't even have toys. They don't have toys in the
What-
cereal.
And for those
I
of y'all
would
that
punch
are
him
like,
straight in the face.
no. For the ones that are like, oh well, the cereal's more healthy now and blah blah blah.
No, it's not.
When they were doing regular sugar, it's still fucking bad for you. But it wasn't as bad as all this other, I'm not going to say hydrogenated corn or whatever bullshit and all that
Bruh.
big food people are putting in our system to get rid of and then the one eye and then the 3-letter people. And I'm not bringing none of that shit into it. But,
Bruh.
you know.
Let me tell you something let me tell you how, because remember I told you when I was a kid, I was left to my freedom. I was left to my lonesome a lot. So I had a lot of time on my hands.
Yeah.
I used to think that all cereal you had to put sugar on it, you know, because of the
all of them.
Yes, the ones with the flakes. All the ones that had the flakes got sugar on it because we had corn flakes and I didn't know, right? So I used to put sugar on it. So I used to eat the Frosted Flakes too, and I used to put sugar on top of that too.
Which already had sugar.
Yeah. And I said I didn't really like it too much until my aunt Angela,
Smacked.
she came by, she saw me and she was like, "What the hell are you doing?"
You're like, I have to put the sugar.
You don't put the sugar on the Frosted Flakes, kitty. It's already got sugar on it. That's what that stuff is.
I'm gonna go to a part of a discussion that you're supposed to avoid, especially on podcasts, and it's gonna get very, very not political or anything like that. But
It couldn't have gotten any worse for me this morning than me in the beginning of the show telling that story about the flower child at the Jamiroquai show.
Oh, this
So
is
it
gonna
couldn't
get
be
worse.
bad
Than
than
that. This is where certain people say the way they are, they've known how they were since they were youngins. You know what I'm talking about? People are like, I've been this way all my life and blah, blah, blah. I knew for a fact at this moment that I was blah, 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 blah. Right?
Right?
Your story triggered this memory. And I don't know if I've said it on pod or anything like that. But before we moved out of San Antonio back in the day, I remember, Deb already knows where I'm going because I've admitted this to her. You were talking about getting Frosted Flakes and then throwing sugar on them already.
Right.
Right? So I remember I can't remember if it was a brother or a sister, was talking to these people next door, was dating one of the girls from next door. Right? And I remember going over looking for one of them. I don't remember, like I said, I don't remember who it was or the names, but I remember this situation altogether. And it was like, hey, I'm looking for blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, we'll say, I'll make up a name, Mike. Because at when we did HTV, we always had an assistant named Mike. Right?
Works for me.
All right. So it's like, I'm over here looking for Mike. And then old girl next door is like, oh, Mike's not here. Haven't seen him in a while. Blah, blah, blah. I'm about to make some cereal. You want some cereal? And I was like, yeah, I want some cereal.
Yeah, I want some cheesy poos.
So I'm sitting there in their front room. Well, back in the day when the front room was connected to the kitchen, it had like a little bar. You know? So I'm sitting there at the table, and she's at that side of the kitchen, and she's cutting up bananas to put in with the Frosted Flakes, and she's putting milk on it and all that. And I come to realize, you know, this was the early 80s.
Right?
Maybe late 70s.
Right.
And she was wearing you know how when they cut the sleeves off the shirt, but then they cut it all the way kind of down on the sides and all that?
Oh.
You know what I'm
got
saying?
side Hogan.
You getting a side shot.
You
Right
got
there.
the side Hogan. Go.
The Hogan.
That's what it's called, side Hogan.
The side Hogan. All I know is I'm seeing the silhouette of a titty. That's all I'm no code words or anything like that. Young like kindergarten me is going, I like that.
This is the best bowl of cereal ever.
Not quite sure what this is, but I like this. So for
I
all
need
these
to go over
people,
for breakfast more often.
all these people that are saying I knew what I was at this moment in life, blah blah blah. I believe you. You have my heart, my sympathy. Because as soon as I saw a titty, I was like, boom, bingo.
Wait, let me ask you this. See, I thought where this story was going was because you was like going to be tripping because she put bananas inside your Frosted
I
Flakes.
did too.
Well, that was the first time I had bananas and Frosted Flakes, and when I saw a titty too, it was just
That is like the greatest combination ever.
and then, yeah,
No. The first time you had bananas in your Frosted Flakes, you saw a tit, a boob.
yeah.
Your first boob. That's like Janet Jackson at the Super Bowl.
Man, Janet Jackson's titty wasn't all that. For everybody to get all mad and all the trouble it caused and all that, she had a fucking piercing with what do you call that shits that the strippers put on so they're technically not showing their nipples? A pasty.
Pasty?
Yeah, she had a pasty on and all that. So you really didn't see no nipple or anything like that. For all the trouble that poor Janet Jackson got in, all that, people are stupid.
But hey, hey. That's
And you know what? It was just a titty, but you can show full-grown men running into each other, possibly breaking each other's necks and ruining their lives forever and all that. That's okay. You can show violence, but one tit, and the world goes crazy.
No, it's that they don't want controversy during their Super Bowl. They don't want to think about anything controversial during their Super Bowl. They're just there to be entertained in what they consider positive message, and that's what it is. Anything controversial at the Super Bowl to them is not good because they don't want to think that way, Josh. They don't want to be reminded of their shortcomings in life.
Because entertainment is technically a distraction. And how else are you going to distract better during football than showing a titty? I don't see what the big deal was. There is a flying bug in here. You saw it, Deborah?
No, I saw a cop made a face. It looked funny.
Because
And if you're gonna have an accidental titty pop out on the screen, who better than Janet Jackson?
So you like Frosted Flakes with with bananas in it?
What?
You ever try grapes? Put grapes in there?
The fuck you talking about grapes and cereal? Next thing you know, you're gonna put
Frosted Flakes?
Man, this motherfucker is putting raisins in potato salad.
You never had grapes in your Frosted Flakes?
No, that's disgusting.
Yes. I've done that many of times. I've done the grapes and the bananas in my Frosted Flakes.
Man, you're ruining my titty memory talking about fucking
Bro,
grapes.
let me tell you. Because they used to
Wait. Green grapes or purple grapes?
green
grapes or-
ones.
I've never had grapes.
What?
No, I mean in the cereal.
Oh, I was gonna say you a damn lie.
Not confused with grape nuts, okay? That is the worst shit.
What are grape nuts?
That is the worst cereal ever in the fucking world. Okay, it is horrible. It's like they took a box and went out in the forest and opened it up and just scooped up whatever they can find and sealed it and shelved it on the shelf to people.
So it's a bunch of dirt
It is.
with sugar on top.
All I know is one week, I don't know, food bank food or whatever, we got some of those, they look like little pillows made out of hay, and then one side's all white and frosted and the other side just looks like a Brillo pad.
Oh, it's like wheat
Yes.
thins.
No, not wheat thins. Wheat something or another. And like I said, it looks like a brown pillow, or it looks like somebody took a brown Brillo pad and put frosting on one side. No, wheat thins are crackers.
Okay. Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, it's a wheat something or another. And I remember having some of those and I was like, man, these are great. And then the next week we got them again without the sugar on it, without the frosting on them. And it was just the wheat things.
Oh, the
like,
frosted mini wheats?
Yes.
That's what I was just I looked it up.
Yeah, the wheats. You know what? I didn't like them either without them. Because you know what they did? They made them smaller. Because when we were big and you got the frosted wheats, them motherfuckers were big.
Like half the size of a soap bar.
Look.
Yeah, exactly. So you only got got a box of cereal. You only had like 10
of them in there.
10 of them in there.
Amazon sells them?
What?
Amazon.
What, the big frosted wheat
Amazon.
cereal?
Get me some frosted mini. This podcast not brought to you by Frosted Mini Wheats or Amazon. Jeff
You can
Bezos.
get those at the store out here anytime. I'm talking about the big ones.
Down, Jeff.
What?
Yeah, we need to buy the separate little cereal things.
Hey,
Go buy some.
there's a cereal brand out there that's sponsoring a bunch of podcasts right now that has like no sugar, tons of protein and stuff like that. And I'm not going to say their name because they're not sponsoring us. But if you want to, you know who you are. We're down. We are down. I will be a shill for money. I mean,
You'll be a what? A shill?
A shill. Oh, I'm going to start putting out a link, by the way, talking about money. We're associates with Riverside now. And if you get Riverside through our link, through our special link, then it'll help cover Riverside for us so we don't have to pay for it every month. I mean, we're not going to get paid, but that's less we have to pay. So,
yeah.
So
help us out, man.
We highly recommend Riverside. This is how we get to podcast with Cobweb all the way where he's at, and we're down here. And then you can also do it to shoot individual things and all that. So we'll have an affiliate code. Yeah. So hit up
if you like this beautiful
Riverside through our link. But all right.
Sign up there.
Now when you have that, we're like starting to get official.
Official like.
That's because we the bomb, baby.
Yes. Are we ready for? Do you hear it? Do you hear it? All right, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, this is the time of the podcast where I use the fake voice.
I was like, your voice changed.
It's all polished and shit.
to bring out the calculator of doom, the motherfucking calculator of doom, el calculador de doom, here at Cast the Pod, where we rate it between a 0 and a 10, 0 to 5, 0 to 4.5, right? Being you're not going to see it again, 5 to 10, 5 being, all right, that's the lowest you can get where you're still going to watch it, 10 being perfect.
You didn't say it in French.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh. Anyways.
I love your accent.
That was an accent?
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, that was.
I was just counting in French. Anyways.
He has different languages.
In my head.
Thoughts in your head.
Who wants to go first?
Thoughts in your head.
I can.
Cobweb's going first. Go ahead, my friend.
So, I started off, I was watching this movie and I was like, I was kind of like turned off a little bit at first. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get through this thing, and as it kind of progressed, with the direction and everything like that. And what Josh was saying about the camera work, it actually kind of made sense to me a little bit more. And with the visual effects and everything else like that. I enjoyed how the movie was, I definitely enjoyed how it was shot. Because normally to me, I hate cam movies. but it didn't feel like it was a cam. You know, it felt like something that was different. You know, because a lot of cams you see one person's perspective. You know, but this was like an elevated level. You know, also, I thought that the characters there was actually a story in this that seemed actually very plausible and was pretty wild, and it kind of picked up. I'm going to give this movie a solid. I'm gonna give it a solid 8.
Wow.
I'm gonna give it a solid 8. I enjoyed it. Honestly, to tell you, if it was on again, I would watch it again. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was dope. You know, I mean, I thought the characters were pretty cool, and they didn't have much to them, but you understood where they were coming from. You know, so for a zombie flick,
Good stuff. An 8 from Cobweb. Deb?
So I really liked this movie from the beginning to the end. I loved the whole one shot, and I loved how it went from one story to the next story to the next story, and it didn't seem confusing. Like, you saw the person, you followed the story, and then 2 people were in there. The second person walked away, and you followed that second person. Like, it was It was perfect the way they filmed it. The guy, you felt bad for him, but then you also, I don't know other people, but me, like, I felt bad for him in the beginning with the girl. The girl scared me, but then I thought, was he thinking, like, was it in his head, because she disappeared, and then, like, stuff that happened in the house, I was like, is he seeing all this, or is it really happening? But then when it went to the girl's story, like, the girl's story was my favorite, both of them. Actually, the second one was my favorite one, the most. I would watch this movie again and again. I gave this movie a 10.
A 10?
damn.
This movie is perfect.
Perfect.
Wait a minute, you know what that get?
Like the frying eggs.
It gets the bacon fat. The bacon fat award.
And I recommend
That makes sense. I like that. That take is sizzling.
The bacon fat.
I really
movie
do
of the
recommend
week.
for if you like zombie movies. I don't even know if it would be a zombie movie. It's more
A zombie prequel?
because it's kind of like The Crazies and kind of like 28 days later, 28 weeks later type like that. Like, it wasn't a traditional zombie.
Right.
So yeah.
So 18 so far. 8 from Cobb, 10 from Deborah. Now I'm looking at IMDb, and I want to reiterate something that Cobb said, something Deborah said. I didn't realize it says that it's a thriller, horror, zombie horror, teen horror. Now, this is a scene. It was like an early to mid 20s party scene to me. I didn't see it as a teen horror.
Yeah, they look like
Man, I didn't know that they had
not.
teen movies with them doing so much. It references the cocaine in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
When she's cutting it up in the bathroom on her cell phone, I'm like,
Yeah. Is
this is a
like,
teen
They look
movie
like
now?
It's not.
yeah, they
Not
look
high
like
school.
party kids, and yeah.
Well, this is in
But-
France. So in
That's
France, I guess it's common for, you're doing lines and
Yes.
in homeroom or something. I got, excuse me, teacher, I got to go do a bump, but I'm good. I'm back.
I can't pay attention. Hold on. There we go.
There we go.
But yeah, no. What I was trying to say was, like, if take out the zombies from this, this would be a bad teen, like, WB or Fox TV series for at least a season. Because you got the boyfriend, the girlfriend's best friend who's pregnant from the boyfriend, and then all their douchebag friends. This would be like a 90210 remake or something like that. You know what I mean? So that's why they're calling it teen horror. Then maybe whatever. But I like the movie. I like the way that it was shot. It was very interesting. It did have for the first half, while you're following the guy, is he just seeing this? Is this a bad trip? Is that's what's going on? And then boom, it's a zombie movie. One of our phones are going off. But I'm debating if I want to give this a 7 or a 10. Because after we watched it, as soon as it ended, as soon as she's sitting down, you're looking out the window, the world is falling apart. I told Deborah, Deb, this is 28 days later. It's 28 hours later. This was badass. And then as the days gone, because we were supposed to record this 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And as time's gone by, I've been able to, no pun intended, chop it up more in my mind and like pick at it. Ooh, this mic I got to get a pop mask in front of it. I got to pick at it more and be nitpicky about it. And I'm going to have to give it a 7. If it would have been the moment I saw it, it would have been a 10.
Josh, you know what I have to say about your rating?
What? Wait, why was there a fart noise first? Did you hear the fart noise too?
It was me.
Oh, you were wait, did you fart?
No.
That's what you made me do.
That just sounded like
You made
static.
my stomach hurt, and I farted.
Dude, I'm never hitting that button again. I don't even know what that is.
So the good news
It says
is,
booing. I don't know what that
so the
means
good news
anymore.
is, after my 7, your 8, and Deborah's 10, we at Cast of the Pod give the movie an 8.3, which means it's an 8. That's not bad. Not bad at all.
It could have been higher, but you.
And it's MADS, MADS, capital M, lowercase a-d, capital S. I don't know why it's done that way, but it is what it is, what it is.
It's got to be some, what is that, like an acronym or whatever they call them or whatever, something else like that? Or
My
what is it called?
fucked up imagination, I thought it was an acronym, M period, A period, D period, and not until right now that I'm looking at it, it's not written as an acronym.
Wow. Maybe something means something in French or something?
I'll say.
What does it mean? What does MADS mean in French?
Nothing.
Is it like mad? Like they're mad, crazy?
Ask chat.
Kind of like the crazies?
Oh, you big mad.
Yeah, ask chat what it means.
Dear Chat GPT. Yes, Josh.
What does mad mean in French?
And make it write it like they have it with the capital.
What does... Oops, I misspelled what. How did I misspell what?
You spell WHUT? What?
What? That's how you spell it. What?
All right. What does MADS mean? MADS can mean a few different things depending on context, but here are a few possibilities. MADS with a capital S might be a username or alias, especially in gaming, social media, or online forums. MADS could refer to mutually assured destruction. Ooh.
That makes sense.
MADS could also stand for myclonus ataxia developmental syndrome, a rare medical condition. MADS, M-A-D capital S, sometimes is an abbreviation for mad scientists.
I think that one about that second one made more sense to me. What do you think,
Could
Dad?
possibly be a reference to M.A.D. period from the old Inspector Gadget Gadget cartoon. I'll get you next time, Gadget. Next time. Dr. Claw. Oh shit.
Dr. Claw. How the fuck did Gadget get away with this stuff? Claw's empire was so fucked up. He couldn't get past a dog and a little girl.
Wouldn't you like to see Dr. Claw now?
Oh my gosh. Did they ever like? Wait. Who
Stroking
was
his
Dr.
cat.
Claw anyway? Did they ever show his picture or what he looked like?
Yes, they did.
They did?
Yes, one time there's one picture. We'll get to it after pod. But I'll show. There's one picture of Dr. Claw's face. But
Is it
guy that did-
animated?
no, yes, it is animated. The guy that did his
wait.
voice.
We need to go now. It's been a
Not
great show,
on
you guys.
time.
Have a good one. Bye.
See you next week.
Frank Welker.
See you next week.
Frank Welker did the voice of Dr. Claw, who's the same guy who did. I'm thinking it's Frank Welker, but he did the "Who disturbs my slumber," the Cave of Wonders, and Megatron and Soundwave. He did the same. I'll get you next time, Gadget. Next time, he did that.
Oh my gosh. I used to love Inspector Gadget.
Man, it takes a lot of air to do that.
I know, man. That's why he only had small parts in the show. You be thinking if he's doing something. It's like I was talking to the Flower Child the other day. I was like, we was listening to some music from the Fat Boys, right?
Fat boys are back.
And they were complete. They were complete crossed over like a whole long time ago. They were so over. And then we were talking about the dude they called the human beatbox. I forgot which one that name guy's name is. And he was always doing the beatbox. Then he would follow the beatbox. After he would go, and then he would go, That Joker couldn't breathe.
So are you saying that was what he was really doing?
He was trying to breathe. It wasn't part of the.
Right. He was trying to catch his breath. You see?
You can't do it on this mic. If I had my other mic, I could do it. But this one, there's
you
way
want my
too many.
mic?
No, there's way too many explosives in this mic. I'm gonna have to switch.
Yes.
This is a good live sing mic. Deborah, are you beatboxing or farting?
Both.
Bro,
Just got real. Josh, look at his face like he is so disgusted right now.
All I
He's
know
like,
is
"Damn, you should have just.
all I know is we went to this Mediterranean restaurant yesterday, and it was really Palestinian food, but for whatever reason they're hiding that it's Palestinian and just saying it's Mediterranean. And it's good food. It's a good place to go. No, don't take any borders or any political stuff into context. Just being fat and having good food. They had good food, but the thing is, the stuff that we ordered gets it kind of gassy, and I'm just
Not kind of.
So-
I don't think
Hey, that's on you guys, Just, don't have any candles going and just light a candle before you go to bed at night,
Are you sure?
Burn that shit off.
Are you sure you want a candle?
Yes, you better. You better have
I
a
think
candle
so.
because if you let it sit too long and it's sitting in there, you know what I'm saying, the little spark could just set it off. Boom. You blind and shit. Your drone swelling.
I think I'll pass on the candles. At least when I'm eating at that place.
But all right, I think we're done. We're done. Pod people.
We were done a long time ago, Josh. You just didn't realize it yet.
Club 3P. Thank you for listening to our breakdown of MadS. We gave it an 8 here at Cast of the Pod.
Should have been higher.
Should have been higher.
Oh, wait, before they go, hey.
Oh, fuck.
But no, for real, if you like zombie movies, you like the Crazies, 28 Days Later, you'll like this movie.
Oh, is that Black Samson?
Yes, it is. This is my Wu-Tang album. There is no Wu-Tang album like this Wu-Tang album. This is mine. This is my Wu-Tang album. It was made just for me.
Is it open? Did you open it or is it still sealed?
It's still a baby. I haven't opened it yet. It's a one of one.
One of one? How's it a one of one?
Because they made 5,000 copies and each copy is different.
What?
Yes.
What's the number on it?
This is number. Oh, I gotta open up the sleeve here. I gotta open it up.
Don't worry about it.
No. But it is a one of one. Every single cover, yeah. It says it right here. It's a one of one. One of one.
Wow.
No two album covers that are alike.
Good stuff.
All right, take us home.
All right, y'all. So until next time, don't forget you can hit us up on all social medias at Cast of the Pod, and hopefully we'll be back next week. Until next time, I'm Josh.
I'm Cobweb, baby.
And I'm Deb.
We are the Cast of the Pod podcast. Thank you for spending time with us and letting us in your ear holes, I tried to say. So until next time, peace.
Bye, everybody.
This is my Wu-Tang album. There is no other Wu-Tang album like it.
And I'm signaling Deb for her to say,
You have been warned.